occurrences is, did you ever pick off 3 balls in a game when you were at Ole Miss?
Never. Never. I picked off one, and that was it.
Okay, well,
It was pick six against. I always mess with Coach Jones all the time. Pick six against his Tennessee Volunteers. So I'll pick with him all the time. And now I just had one.
okay, well, so Clifton and Tay had quite the
Yes.
afternoon.
Yes.
Let's talk about really kind of what you guys saw going into the game that put them in positions to be able to do those things. So, what did you see pregame that led to the results we saw on Saturday on the field?
Well, nothing really pregame. It was just throughout the week. Focusing on tendencies and different type of formation that those guys gave us. We want to play certain coverages versus certain formations. And Coach Woodham had a great adjustment, on the sideline of making sure we was in the correct formation, correct defense versus those formations. And my guys did a great job of understanding the concept as well as understanding the route concept that was coming with it. You got to think on the fly, while you're back there. And they did a great job preparing all week, had a great week of practice, and just came out and performed well on Saturday.
In talking about making those adjustments and reading some stuff on the fly, on Clifton's first interception, I noticed I went back and watched all 6 interceptions to see exactly what happened. There's no wide out to his side. He's kind of tight into the line. The tight end's on his side.
Yeah.
Tight end takes off, runs the seam, fares to the inside. Clifton's on his back, and they run a flare, a delayed flare with the running back out of the backfield.
Right.
And I noticed Rogers looks down the field. He sees Fair and Duck bracketing the tight end.
Yeah.
And he says, "Yeah, here's my check down.
Yeah,
I'm going to the
yeah.
running back." And at that moment, I saw Clifton
He
spy
saw
Rogers, and he broke out of his coverage and came
yeah.
back and did that. Is that an example? I mean, is that something you guys schemed for, or did Clifton just say, "I know what's getting ready to happen"?
Well,
and
it
he
was
just moved?
it was a coverage. We was in a cloud coverage, so Duck had the flats. With the tight end going vertical, he was just helping, a little bit if he did continue to go vertical and he didn't have anything in the flats. Helped the free safety as well as the wheel linebacker. So he saw the back coming into his area, and he just broke on it. And with him being a little bit that high, I think Rogers just thought he could stick it in there real quick, and Duck just had an outstanding break. I mean, it was a really good break on that one.
So when Jaleel Scott went out of the game, and I don't know if you guys really noticed when he went out, but
he went out
when that
series.
happened, did that change anything you were doing? Did that
Yeah,
tighten
it
down?
changed our defense, a little bit because we had a lot of stuff, a lot of defenses, predicated off of him. Calling it to him, calling away from him, things of that nature. So, we just went back to base. We just went back to base because all week we prepared for him, and what a good receiver he was, and we just went back to our base and our roots, and playing good, fast football.
So flipping the page, let's head to Idaho instead. It's a passing offense that really hasn't quite caught on, at least not where we normally expect Linehan to be.
Right.
So, what are you guys seeing on film, and what do you think the opportunities are for the group on Saturday?
People really think that they're a passing team, but they're really not. I mean, they're a balanced football team within the sense that they may be 60-40 pass, but they run the ball really well. They really do. They run the ball well, and they set you up, with play action passes and things of that nature, trying to get you to bring the safeties down so they could hit you over the top. But they're still they're a great football team. I mean, they really are. They spread you out, and they get in certain formations that make you think. Especially with 10 personnel, 11 personnel looks and things of that nature. So we just have to be ready and be focused, just like we were this past Saturday, and not have as many mistakes that we had on Saturday. Clean those things up, and I think we'll be okay.
They have had a little bit of personnel turnover. They lost a couple of really effective receivers from last year,
yeah.
lost a big tight end.
Yes.
In studying the film, what are the differences that you notice with the group this year versus maybe what you guys have seen in the past?
Well, I think what they've done with personnel wise from this year to last year. Last year they had that big tight end, like you just said. I mean, you could put him in a normal tight end spot. You could put him in a two wide spot, receiver spot. So you call him certain things thinking he's going to be in the core, and then you call him certain things thinking he's going to be split out, but he's in the core. So that was tough. That was tough for you to call a game based off of him. And now, they've replaced, those guys, but I think they got a little bit more speed now this year as opposed to last year, especially out there on the edges with 1 and 26 and 8, those receivers there. They do a good job of blowing the top off the coverages and making sure that you stay on top, stay on top, stay on top, and then they try to hit you underneath with comebacks and things of that nature. So we just got to do a good job of recognizing formations and just playing fast. And if we see our keys correctly, we'll be okay.
Good deal.
We'll be okay.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.